The spells, they say, like, tormentum invisibilium or that sort of thing, they're not real spells. They're kind of modeled on spells, because a lot of old spells are Latin. But no, they're not. None of them are actual spells.
Hey, John, Steve, sorry, excuse me. Let me ask something on that, on the Harry Potter. Would you say the author of Harry Potter, would she be a witch?
I wish. No, I think she just read a lot of books and cribbed a lot of things. No, I think if she were a witch, she'd be sharing a little more of those royalties with other witches.
Okay, so you don't think she's from any Wiccan order, because
she's a pagan.
When I, like you said, when I was looking into the Harry Potter movie, I found a lot of that. Like, for example, the second movie, when they had the basilisk snake in it. I know that's a snake that's reverent in witchcraft. Is it not?
There's a lot of. It depends. Yeah, I mean, the serpent is a really symbolic creature in so many religions. Yeah, it has a lot of meaning. So you can pretty much pull from any source for that. Yeah, but no, I think if she is a witch, then she's been absolutely secret about it. Not even other witches that we know have had any contact with her in that way. And I honestly think that, she, just like the Hollywood writers, you can get all of this stuff just by reading enough books and putting it together and getting, she's very good at taking things that are real and kind of cobbling them together.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Another quick announcement.
Let me ask him this real quick before you, and I'm going to let you back in if you don't mind. Gotcha. Let me ask, homosexuality, lesbians and gay men doing things with each other. What is your take on that as a Wiccan? Is that allowed in Wiccan?
Well, let me put it this way. Every year at our big Samhain, October 31st ritual that we do, the big public one, we have a different theme. And this year the theme is Love is the Law. And we're going to be holding a mass wedding and hand fasting for anyone of any sex and any couple or triple that wants to do it. And even though it will only be legal for the people that are heterosexual, we still are, want to say, look, nature is much more diverse than just male coupling with female, and that's the real natural law is love, and that's the most important thing of all. So we're going to do that publicly in front of the courthouse as a kind of a ritual.
So you do welcome homosexual men and lesbians within this unit?
Most American witches do, but I got to be honest with you, traditional British witches, way back in the old days, maybe 100 years ago, did not. They were very much against it, and gay people were not allowed to be in a coven in those days. They had to be. They were considered very magical, but they were like they would be like messengers who would go between covens, come to visit one or the other. But that's. Nowadays, most witches consider that prejudiced and bigoted, and so we're, we think that what's in the heart is more important than what hangs between your legs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, the issue we have
Apple says your heart is wicked.
I don't know any homosexual or lesbian that came in the earth through a homosexual or lesbian reprocreation. Like they are a product. They are
about
of love. They are a product of love as far as male and female. So I don't understand how that whole thing is. But maybe we'll have someone else to talk about that. But let me ask you. Let me just ask you all out, because it's not being bigot. It's about being straight.
Well, it's about focusing just on procreation. I mean, marriage and partnership is about a lot more than that. In fact, we think more people ought to adopt children.
That's an intricate part of that.
Adopt children.
But that's an intricate part of it, because if everyone decided to do that, that would be the end of life itself.
Well, we got a long ways to go with that. We got like 7 billion people or more and counting on this planet, and there's way too, honestly, they're procreating a little.
Listen, I won't deal with that with none of my children. But let's go here. Let's go here real quick. And let's be straight.
Hello, fella. Can I just make an announcement real quick? We're down to the we're under 1 hour for normal time. We're gonna go into the overtime. The UK, Jamaica, Skype route. Nothing.
There you go.
This also that for those who listen, I mean, this has been one of the most interesting conversations we've had on air. I mean, besides the rabbi that came on one time, and I mean that was just profound in itself. But it's interesting that we have a pagan on that's saying that came with absolute truth concerning his religion. And one thing that was brought out today, and I'm glad he brought it out, is that the majority of Christianity we have today is really hidden paganism. We've been mentioning this for a long time. They want to tell people go to hell, thy way, and this, that, and the other. When really, the Sunday worship, Christmas, Easter, even the virgin birth. Is there a virgin birth in paganism, sir?
In ancient paganism, yeah, there were several deities that were, yeah, that's, I'm trying to remember the exact source of that, but yeah, that's in either Greek or Roman paganism, I forget.
Yeah, Horus and Osiris.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Horus, Osiris, in ancient Egypt, you had Tammuz, the virgin child of Babylon.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
And that was
that's
all
absolutely
before
right,
Christ.
yeah, it's all, that's taken from older myths, older pagan myths.
And if you don't mind, let me read one thing out of the Bible that I don't think Christians even knew that was in the Bible. In Jeremiah 44, when the Hebrews began to worship the Gentile deities, the pagan deities, it was written, the prophet Jeremiah wrote this about to them. It says, Jeremiah 44, and I'm going to put this out there for everyone. It says, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. That's what the people began to do. It says, then all the men who knew that their wives had burned incense to other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven.
Ah, the Queen of Heaven.
Yeah, you know her, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Queen of Heaven.
Yeah.
And to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have.
A demon's
But we will certainly do
Easter.
so whatsoever goeth forth out of our own mouth. Listen to this clearly. Goeth forth out of our own mind to burn incense to the Queen Mother of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done. We and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. And when we burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and pour out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her, and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men? Now I'm saying this because here's some examples in Scripture showing that the Hebrews were punished for dealing with the Queen Mother of Heaven, pouring out the drink, doing the wine ritual like he was mentioning. A lot of people don't know that the birthday cake, blowing out a candle on a birthday cake, is ancient paganism.
It's tricky, yeah. I've often wondered about that.
In ancient Rome, they got it from Greeks. Matter of fact, it started in ancient Babylon. Greeks picked it up, and then the Romans picked it up, where you would have, once a year, you would have to bake a cake to the goddess Diana. which is the Statue of Liberty today, ironically.
Yeah, I have a web page on that too, on oldandwild.org. Artemis is what she is. And not Artemis, I mean Athena, rather. Is
Athena, the hunter. She was a hunter goddess.
Diana, the goddess of the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they would have
moon was her bow. I mean, that's the symbol of the crescent moon. It's like a bow.
Moon is her bow. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they would put a cake in front of her, and if they didn't light a candle and make a wish, they said that the gods would haunt you for a year. Like bad spirits would ride you for a year. So each year they would have to bring a cake before the temple, before her feet, and make a cake to the goddess and blow out the candle. That's what your everyday practice, even in blowing out the candle. Honeymoon, even the word honeymoon is an ancient pagan ritual.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I just looked that up the other day, and I forgot what I read about it. But yeah, there are a lot of pagan rituals around that, which we're going to be try to incorporate some of that this Halloween.
What I'm saying is, before I got with you today, because I knew you was coming on, I just did some research, and some research I had in the past. Another thing I did, right now I'm traveling abroad, Steve, but in America I did a research of all the so-called holidays in America. Wouldn't you know that every holiday, even Martin Luther King's Day, falls on an ancient pagan Roman day?
Well, the thing is, they had holidays practically every day of the year, depending on the deity, so you could pretty much throw a dart at it and hit a Roman pagan holiday. That's part of the thing about having so many gods and goddesses is that there's a lot of sacred days you got to celebrate.
Well, exactly. Well, I'm going to ask you some questions based on the list I have in front of me.
Okay, the Queen of Heaven thing is interesting. I would like to make a point about that.
Go ahead.
Originally, the Hebrews believed that, like most pagan peoples, that who had one god, that god had a wife, or who had a supreme god, that the supreme god had a wife. Like Jupiter had Juno, Zeus had Hera. Well, Yahweh, many believe, had Astarte, who was related to Ashtaroth, Isis, Venus. They were all kind of very similar deity, and they are all basically the same goddess, and associated with Venus, the morning star. But anyway, they used to erect a pillar to her, which was kind of represented the tree of the world, And
that's where the Christmas tree come in at.
Well, maybe, it is related to that. Yeah, world tree.
Yeah,
or the Norse thing, probably, but the same symbolism, that it represents the axis of the world, the thing that everything spins around.
You better not tell a Christian that. They love their Christmas trees.
Yeah, well, we love them too. We pagans, so we think it's one of the best parts of Christmas is bringing the greenery into the house to represent eternal life. Life within the darkness and the cold. And that's what it symbolizes: the fact that life goes on no matter how hard,
that is not
how
what
cold,
symbolizes.
how dark things get. Here are these trees.
It's a satanic idol from Babylon.
Green, and that's what faith is like, and that's what
the Bible talks against it.
That's what the gods are there for too. They're always there, no matter what comes and goes on this material plane. And
let me.
Yeah.
Someone just asked a question. I just want to put it out there. Someone asked, who was the Queen Mother of Heaven? I want to put this out there. The Queen Mother of Heaven in ancient Babylon was Semiramis, which was supposed to be the mother of God or the mother of Talmud.
Fake Mary. Fake Mary.
Yeah.
She's related.
This is all the religions and cultures of the earth with the same virgin birth.
It was asterisk
before Christianity, before Christ was born.
At another time, because
so it's not about Christ. It's not about.
Just all these different languages.
It depends on what generation
really
it came out of. You had the ancient Babylon, and you had the Babylon during Nimrod's time, and then the worship of her later on down the line. So you are correct.
Mary through Isis. I mean, the symbolism of Mary with the blue cloak and
Mary
the stars.
is the same thing. The Christian Church Mary It's Semiramis. It's Isis. It's Ashtoreth. It's the same goddess.
It is, yeah. We're we think that's really important to have that feminine principle in your deity. Why worship just a male god? That's just half.
It's not. Well, we know that the ultimate mother spirit is the Holy Spirit, which is Ruach of the Most High. It's not Ashtoreth, the wife of Yahweh. We know Yahweh to be of the fallen. All right. So another thing, someone just asked about the Queen Mother of Heaven. I want to just make that. At this time, when it was spoken of in Jeremiah 44, it was Semiramis, the mother of Nimrod, or the virgin child of Tammuz. Now, these are virgin children before there was any such thing as Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very old myth. Yeah. And,
so I just want to put that out there. And listen, we know that Christ had a father. His name is Joseph. The Bible tells you, he gives the lineage right there in the same chapter. So let's get out of that real quick, and let me ask you this real quick, because I know the phones are ringing off the hook, and many people want to ask you questions. As a matter of fact, why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Why don't we open it up so that other people can ask questions? Because I can go all day, but for those who just came in, you wouldn't believe some of the things that came out in this discussion. And what's good is we were able to discuss without condescending, attacking each other. Yes,
absolutely.
We disagree, but the whole deal is I needed him to come out to show you that the pagans is really, if you want to ask, know the truth, is the mother of Christianity. She spawned Christianity.
And the pagans agree with that.
No, this is what I'm saying. And for Christians to come off in a condescending and a pompous way, as if they control the way of truth, and don't even know that you learned paganism out of slavery people. When this world was colonized, you were given paganism.
Well, brought it too, because don't forget about Vodun and Santeria. Those are, even though they're saints, they're still very similar to what we practice. And many deities,
absolutely.
And there are a lot of, we consider
and our
them.
people got to get it together.
We consider them sister states. Yeah.
What I want to put out there is our people have to come back to the God that's part of the Red Sea. There was many gods in Egypt while our people were enslaved in Egypt. Okay, there was paganism there, but our God showed to be the God of gods. Now, people can make a choice to follow whatever God they want, but at the end, prophecy will stand. And I want to say this. We are the children of Israel. I want to say this. And we, regardless of what's out there and what we have obtained in this world, we must come back to the true God. We must come back to the God who put us in this condition for our disobedience of running to the Queen Mother of Heaven. So that's all I wanted to say on that.
Well, naturally, that's a different perspective, but let's open the... Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to put it out there that we were able to have a discussion, and man, you came with some stuff today. The fact that Islam began in straight paganism, and they would try to convert people claiming that they're the way.
Yeah, everybody does, and all monotheists, monotheistic faiths do.
Paganism is a bad rap. It seems like people stealing all your rituals and stealing your holy days, but yet don't want to give you any credit. What's going on with that?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on with that? People need to open it up a little more and be a little more celebratory and tolerant.
Okay.
But let's see what's
do you want to answer a few questions from the listeners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's turn this over to Brother Gaja, and I'll just end it with a few scriptures to end it after. But I thank him for being kind, coming on, and giving his aspect and broadening the perspective so that we can leave our narrow minds to understand what these religions are really about. And I hope a lot of Christians out there, listen, you wake up. All right, Gaja, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can just put me on. I'll be on mute, okay? Because I want to hear some of these questions. Where's Brother Gaja? He's still with us?
Hello?
Oh, okay, there you go. You didn't fall asleep on me, did you?
No, man, no. I can't sleep for this show. Hey, let me add to what you just said. Steve Rasmussen, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Yeah.
It's been very enlightening, and I'm sure that the listeners here who are tuning in have a lot of questions also that they'd like to ask. All right. First, we're gonna go to the phone lines right now. We have our brother Lexwell here. Brother Lexwell, let me bring him in.
Hey, shalom, brothers. How we doing?
Shalom, man. How are you?
Hey, God, I heard the show yesterday. It was great.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a prototype show. We're trying to build it up, you know.
Oh, yeah, that was cool, man. It was very cool.
Man, bless man. And how's everything on your side?
Hey, man, going downhill fast, but I'm smiling. All
right, man, cool. You want to put your question or a comment?
Yeah, actually, man, you know, there's so much covered, man. I don't even know where to start. Hi, Stephen. How you doing, man?
Hi, doing good, thanks.
Hey, that's good. Hey, now, not to be rude, I was listening and I thought I heard the final statement of, you know, the which God do you serve, and I thought that I heard you say that you didn't know.
No, I didn't say that.
Sorry.
No, we were talking about the origins of the gods, you know, and I said that's something that I'm not sure any human could pretend to know, and it would be arrogant of me to presume. You know, but no, I know very well which gods I worship. Yeah, and there's more than one, and they're very very helpful, efficacious. They answer prayers. They give me faith and hope, and all the things that people say about Jesus, Jesus and Mary, and you know, and Yahweh, or and I would venture to say even y'all's experience with Ahaya. You know, really we feel the same way about our deities, that they're there to help us, and they do.
Sorry?
You probably had a question behind that, right?
Well, could I read something to you?
Sure.
This is from a book called The Satan Hunter.
Satan Hunter?
Yes, The Satan Hunter, by Thomas W. Wedge, with Robert L. Powers. Okay, now these are ex-policemen, and they would go to crimes, and, you know, they would talk about how if satanic crimes were committed, that they would be covered up to keep the public calm.
Oh, that's a fallacy. What year was that book published? First published.
1990. Copyright 1988 by Thomas Wedge.
That's actually true. They do cover up all these satanic Moloch sacrifices, children being kidnapped, raped, sacrificing all this. They do cover it up. Hell, if the cops don't cover it up, they're gonna be the ones missing. Shoot, and it's gonna be on the news that they overdosed or got into a car accident or some garbage. They always lie. Government satanic. All religion holidays, all satanic, all pagan, all from Babylon, all Roman. Alright? Only truth of the Bible, King James Version. Yes, they allowed in Christ. Yes, they allowed King James Christianity. And it's ran by Roman Catholics, and they are not Jewish. They are Jewish. Because Jewish is not in the Bible, they're Romans. You can't convert through a religion to become Israelites through the bloodline Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Alright, they're Romans. They're from Esau. They're not from Jacob. They're not from the bloodline of Jacob. They're not Israelites. They ain't got the laws. They're Gentiles. Alright, and they run the world. They at least top 1%. They're Romans. They're Satanists. Alright. It's all these missing people. They're all being they're all being sacrificed through Moloch, especially children and all that. So, People gotta wake up here. One truth of the Bible, King James Version. Alright? And the real Israelites been around between 68 black people in America. And there's other 11 tribes, but I don't feel like saying it. And we're not African, we're from Shem, the Middle East. Alright? The Arabs, which are Ishmaelites, and Esau came way after with Abraham and Isaac. All the time before that, all the hundreds of years, thousands of years before that was all black people. Alright? So, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, Noah's 3 sons, those are all black people. Not Africans. Alright? Not all black people from Africa, so people gotta wake up here. Most High, the Creator, is real name, the highest High, I am that I am. Ancient Hebrew Venetian. Son, Christ, Yeshua, means my Savior in the ancient Hebrew Venetian. Then the Mother, Holy Spirit will walk. So, that's the truth. That's the Most High in Christ. Doesn't have many names. It only got one name, so Bible is the only truth. The Bible is a history book. It's not a belief. It's not a religion. The Bible is a religion. It's not belief. It's not perception, opinions, whatever. Theology, mythology. The Bible is history. It's real. All right.
Knew it. See, that's right. When all that, like Geraldo Rivera was doing.
Yeah, if the Bible is real, Satan's real, and Satan deceived the whole world. It's Satan's world. Satan runs the world. And the Romans, God, the elites, the government in America, Pope and all of that, back in Europe, they're all Satanists. They follow Satan, Lucifer. So, people gotta wake up here.
Trying to do it.
Easy proof of that, Nephilim skeletons being found over a giant. That's their children, Genesis 6:4. So that's easy proof of fallen angels existing, because if giants exist, fallen angels exist. That means if fallen angels exist, the Bible is real. Then stars are angels. So they lie about space. Above is heaven. Alright? Aliens are fallen angels. So they lied about all that shit.
So on that, that was a big thing going on right then, was the claim that there were all these satanic murders going on and being covered up, and finally the FBI started investigating, and they found
the FBI is part of the damn satanic bullshit.
Absolutely no evidence whatsoever of it. They found that children were being coached in these so-called memories they were having of satanic abuse.
What do you mean, like kids on milk cartons, or which kids?
Kids that were testifying that supposedly the Satan worshippers had come and taken them to this island, and they'd had to witness these flesh-eating rituals and all this wild stuff.
All true.
And the FBI found that the handful of people were really, kind of like coaching them to believe this stuff.
Oh, it's all true.
That's why I wanted to know who went on TV. I go ahead and let you.
All things related celestially. We work with seasons and phase creation as the goddess. Knew him. So there are many names. Among them are Pan, Kernima. In the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church wanted to erase any religion that was not Catholicism. I just want to skip down. Our God has horns because he represents both people and horned animals. There are many names for our God, who is called in general terms the horned God. Many cultures with many languages knew him. So
they changed Satan. They changed this right here into fake Mary, fake Christ, and all the other religions on earth. They swap it to like Buddha and shit. Allah, Satan, this. So people gotta wake up.
There are many names. Among them are Pan, Kernimos, Mars. So you understand what this is saying. Mars, Zeus.
Yeah, so far, he's right on everything. Yeah, I'd agree with all of that. I mean, I know.
We do not worship many gods, but rather one God and one goddess, which have many names. Now,
I'm sorry, read that part again.
It says we do not worship many gods, but rather one God and one goddess who have many names.
That's how a lot of Wiccans view it, yeah. And
Hey, Lex Will, real quick. Let me ask him, because that information came out as profound.
I know, right?
No. Let me ask you, Steve. Is Zeus one of these gods? Like when the ancient Romans and Greeks worshipped Zeus, would that be the pagan god Pan also?
That's what this book is saying.
No, I'm asking him if that's what he knows.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a lot of people would say that, but I think that I personally, based on my experience and study, I think that's overgeneralizing. I think that, yeah, ultimately they're all one, but then ultimately all humans are one humanity, right? We're all one people. I mean, you know,
but
practically identical. But yet there's different cultures, you know, we have different names, we have different faces, you know. So, yeah, we're all one, but we're also different, you know, and that's...
Yeah, but I'm asking you in specific, in ancient Rome, when they was worshiping Zeus, is that synonymous with Pan?
Sometimes they...
Yep. And in Turkey, they found Zeus's seat. And Zeus comes from... That's why in Spanish, they call Jesus Jesus. And that literally means Zeus. In the Bible, it calls it Satan's seat. So that Zeus's seat is Satan's seat. So people gotta wake up, all right? Satan came down like a ball of lightning, Zeus. So that's only one of his names, all right? Like the typical Lucifer, Satan, that's a microscopic, dude, he has like hundreds of names. All throughout all cultures, all religions, all languages, so people can, he deceived the world, so people can worship him. They change the name. They'll change his name to Jesus, and all of a sudden, that's what happened. Then he'll change his name to Allah. He'll change his name to Buddha. He'll change his name to Isis, Osiris, or whatever the hell. In all these religions, he changed his name. And Thor, Megatron, or Zeus, or whatever, like Superman, all that shit.
In
so
certain places, they worshipped, what they call them, like Hermes. I mean, there were certain places where they had, where they saw Hermes and Zeus as the same god, but most of the time, I think these
three are worshipped throughout all religions, holidays, all cultures. Satan, Semiramis, his wife, and Nimrod as Tammuz. Their names change. Isis, Osiris, the fake Mary and fake Jesus, Zeus, Poseidon, Jupiter, all that shit. In all cultures.
Separate. You know, they're closely tied to the astrological planets. Zeus is Jupiter, the planet Jupiter.
Yeah.
And
so I'm asking,
Mercury, Hermes is...
Let me ask you in another way.
The Kaaba store in Mecca, and Allah and all that, that's all the same shit. It's all the same. It's all Babylonian, all right?
Is Zeus one of the gods that you acknowledge today?
We don't really call him Zeus, although that name comes from Deus, that same universal term, you know, Diao, Iau, that was about earlier.
Because I know that Jesus, the word Jesus, actually comes from Zeus too.
Yeah, it comes from the same root. Yeah. And you know, it's all that universal name, that universal vowel spectrum.
It's a Agathering144. It's a Agathering144 on YouTube versus a warlock pagan, pretty much a sorcerer. They're interviewing him on the roots of paganism, which is all religion holidays. All right, the Bible has nothing to do with Christianity at all, right?
As we call it.
Because they give you this Jesus, which is not Christ.
But what I want to ask you,
and all of this is idolatry, by the way, which the Bible says is sin. Like all of this, people think it's like art or something, or just a statue. It's idols to gods. That's what all this shit is.
We often do pray and do spells to Jupiter, the astrological.
And these gods are fallen angels, and some people call them aliens as well.
Logical planet, which we do see as a god, most of us, we see the planets as animated by as God.
Real quick, and I'll yield, is because I wanted to put that out there when that Zeus popped out at me, and I did the research. Come to find out, the Roman Catholics under Constantine, that they actually changed Christ's name to Zeus. That was a deity that was in ancient Rome. That
them versus a pagan, a warlock, a witchcraft user, a Satanist, pretty much.
That because
it's an interview, not a debate, I guess. Interview.
There was no J in the Hebrew language, so I want to put that out there. That whether
I'm gonna go back on that.
there when that Zeus popped out at me, and I did the research. Come to find out, the Roman Catholics under Constantine, that they actually changed Christ's name to Zeus. That was a deity that was in ancient Rome.
And that's where you get Jesus from. Because, first of all, Jesus is Greek anyways, and Greeks and Romans are pagans. All right, it tells you that in the Bible and in history. Then if you ask in Spanish, it's Jesus, and that's literally Zeus. Like, because there was no J's back then, so Jesus couldn't have been his name. It's like impossible. So it's Jesus, and Zeus is another name for Satan. All right. So
that because there was no J's in the Hebrew language. So I want to put that out there that whether
well, I think to them it was a Yehoshua.
Yeah, some say Yehoshua. The ancient is Yeshaya, but there was no J's. That's why when you speak to Spanish people, you ask them, well, what's Jesus' name? They say Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's really synonymous with the same God of the pagan.
Well, the word origin is, yeah.
I just need to hit that part. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna turn it back over. Go ahead, Lex.
Hold up.
In the Agathering144, they believe in the Bible, just not Christianity, not religious. It's completely different. Everything you're taught in Christianity is not even in the Bible. All of it, so just read the Bible yourself, King James Version, you would know what I'm talking about. 80 books. They took away 14 books, it's 80 books. It has to be King James Version. Because they lie on King James, just like they lied on Christ. If they're going to lie on Christ, they lie about everything else. But yeah, it's Agathering144, and they do believe in the Bible. They think the Bible is real. Versus a pagan, warlock, witch, or whatever, doing witchcraft and all this stuff. It's an interview and all that. Because they're trying to give you the history and the origin of these religions and holidays, how they're all just pagan. Like these same religions and holidays, people are in. These witches and warlocks are like doing the same shit. They're doing the same thing. They follow the holidays too. It's the same shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all the same.
Let's just on hold real quick. We have another caller from the UK coming in. We have Brother Josh on. Brother Josh, can you hear me?
Shalom. Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, brother. I'm hearing you.
Just in these religions, they rename it. They rebrand it, but it's all satanic and pagan in reality.
Go through. You have a question or a comment, real quick?
Like you have literally Satanists on these same days as supposed religious people. Like it's not a coincidence.
Both really. I'm gonna have to talk pretty quickly because my battery on my phone is about to die. So I just want to run through it.
And again, Jewish people are Romans from Esau. They're not the real Jews at all. They fit zero prophecies of being Israelites according to the Bible, and they don't fit the physical description and all that stuff. So they're Romans from Esau. To be an Israelite, you have to be from Jacob. It's a physical bloodline. It's a seed. It's genetics. It's not through a religion, through a conversion. All right. Everybody can't be an Israelite. All right. That's how you're born. It's not. You went through some steps to join a religion or whatever the fuck. Convert.
This little bit of information that I have here in front of me, what I've just been writing.
And it doesn't depend on where you was born at. It depends on your father. All right.
Down as I've been listening to the show. Now, could I ask Steve, just before I go through this quickly, have you heard of Madame Blavatsky?
Oh, Madame Blavatsky, yes. Yeah, there's a controversial figure.
Okay, well, just for the benefit of the listeners, her full name is Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Yeah.
Petrovna, yeah.
Now, okay, she was a witch. She lived during the time of 1831 to 1891.
She was not a witch.
Pardon?
She was a witch actually.
She would not have fathered a witch.
Okay, maybe so, but according to my research, I found out that she dealt with the occult, and
yes.
she's the founder of the Theosophical Society.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, now, what she's really responsible for, in layman's terms, is bringing these different segments of Satanism together to unify them. Because the Bible itself tells us that there's many gods in the earth, and all the gods of the nations, and nothing but idols. That's what the Bible tells us. Now, if you actually look at this society in particular, the seal that they've incorporated with it, yeah? Now, let me describe this, yeah? The
Bible says, the Lord is greatly and greatly to be praised. Psalms 96:4, King James Version. The Lord, the Most High, is great. The Creator is great and greatly to be praised. And the gods of the nations are idols. Idols, statues, and shit. Alright? Those objects of worship, those are idols. And gods are fallen angels. Satanic beings that people call aliens. But the Lord made the heavens. The Most High made the heavens. So, He's to be feared above all gods. So, we have to follow the Creator, not the fallen angels. Alright? Demons. And look at this. This is what people will see this and think it's satanic until it has something to do with Jewish people. Magically. It's satanic, bro. It's a star of Moloch. Child sacrifice. Satan. Satan is another name for Moloch. Baal or whatever. So that's what it is.
You've got the Star of David.
Witchcraft and all that.
That's the center of the seal. Yeah.
And they try to say it's the Star of David. It's not. It's more of like the Seal of Solomon and all that, and just Star of Moloch. It's the Star of Moloch.
Yeah. Inside of the Star of the David, you've got an anchor, which is the cross with like the circle bit on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the middle of the Star of David. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, around the star, you've got a Ouroboros. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, very sacred symbol, ancient. Yeah.
Which is a snake, which is a highly satanic symbol. And
no,
it actually
not at all.
It's satanic. Do you do rituals and summon shit with this?
It represents eternity. It's like cycles.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That witch is completely wrong.
It actually represents procreation as well.
It has a lot of meanings. You can even see it on your computer when a Java program is running.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that bullshit.
Circle going around.
You've got a symbol called Aeon. Have you heard of that? This is the symbol that we can hold alongside the yeah? Mm-hmm. And basically, yeah, it's the spiritual principles and search for truth. This is where... Pardon?
I think it means Theo.
Sophia, who you can find in the Gnostic system, esoteric philosophy. Now, this is my point. This is the point I want to make before my phone goes dead, yeah? We can go to and fro talking about good witches and bad witches and what sort of pagan establishment people out there in today's day and age are attached to. But it's got a head. And the head of all these societies, yeah, there is sat a God who is diverting all worship to himself.
Exactly.
Yeah? And this God is what
Satan deceived the whole world. People better wake up.
We know in the Bible as Lucifer, Satan. Yeah? But let me tell you, Satan is just a title. Yeah? There's Satans in this earth today. And these Satans in the earth today, notice that plural, are the evil spirits that are caught up in this world, who we know, according to the Bible, have proceeded, yeah, from the bodies of giants, according to Genesis chapter 6 in the Bible. So,
yep, you got fallen angels, and they had sex with daughters of men, Genesis 6:4. Then they became...
So until we know the origins...
They birthed giants as their children, fallen angels. Then when the giants died, they became demons. Their spirits became demons and shit. So this whole ghost garbage, my ancestors, my family member, or ghosts, like, that doesn't exist. You're dealing with demons. And demons can shapeshift and all that stuff. Demons can possess you and give you... People think reincarnation exists. It doesn't. You're seeing a demon's past memories, right? Because that demon possesses people. And you can watch the movie The Fallen by Denzel Washington in 1998, 1999 or something. Like, that's a good example. These demons they cause all these tragedies, these like murders, rapes, and just bombings, shootings. That's all demon possession. Then they shoot themselves and all that stuff, because just like Christ put all the demons into the swine and they fell off the cliff, the swine, they had to kill themselves just to like move on, to leave the body and all that shit. They can be in animals too. That's why in the movie The Fallen, the damn demon, the Azazel and all that fallen angel went into the cat. He had to like die to go into the cat and all this. So people gotta wake up, man.
God that we're following.
And these giants, they're skeletons of these things. 25 plus feet tall skeletons of giants. That's real. People dig these things up all the time. Alright? Humanoid. Not no giant prehistoric animal. These are like literally humanoid, like... Bro, I was debating somebody the other day. I mean, a couple months ago, like, oh, that's just a skeleton of a giant sloth. I looked up a skeleton of a giant sloth. It looks like an animal skeleton. It doesn't have... It's not humans. Like giants, they're human-like. They have human skeleton. Like, I'm looking up these other skeletons of these giant animals. They have animal skeletons, bruh. You know, hunchback and all this stuff. Like, giants are humanoid. They basically have the same skeletons of like as us, but they're like 5-10 times our size. That's how you know. They have like 6 fingers, 6 toes, and all this shit. There's all kinds of proof of giants. If giants are real, that means fallen angels are real, because what made the giants were fallen angels. And if fallen angels are real, that means Satan's real, that means the Bible's real, so gotta wake up. And that's only one physical proof of the Bible. There's like a bunch, really. Just people are so biased and ignorant and just, they don't want to do research. Alright? If you don't do the research, of course you ain't gonna know the truth. Alright? You gotta do the research, you have to.
Following them.
Well,
the
who are you
Bible
going to believe, though? I mean, I don't believe a bunch of scribes who had an agenda, and their agenda was to trash everybody else, or Wicca, or any.
Say something real quick, and I want and I'm gonna let you come back in, Josh, because this is what I want Steve to understand, and maybe he'll take this back with him a little bit. You have to realize, Steve, and I'm not here to preach to you tonight because we really brought you on the back of this minister who didn't know that Christianity foundation is paganism. But I want to say something. You have to realize that he wasn't always safe. That's why I asked you, and I had the knowledge of the origin of spirits when I asked you the question. Because I ask other pagans the same thing. What is the origin of these gods you worshiping? Because I know they do things for you, but if you don't know the origin, you can't say for sure what they're not.
But
and I'm going to
really
say
know
this.
the origin of the Bible. I mean, that's the problem there. You know, will tell you.
Let me make my point, because I can answer those questions if you really want to get the answers to them. My point is, you have to realize when he fell, he wasn't Satan. He was Lucifer originally. And he tempted with good and evil.
And that's according to one mythology,
So let me say this. So even when you go into witchcraft, which our people were forbidden to deal with, but the Gentiles were dealing with it. When you go into witchcraft, of course there's good and evil witchcraft. Why? Because that is the tree that was presented. So yeah, there's going to be a good part, but there's a very dark part too, and it's one God over both parts. My problem now is, and maybe we can talk about this, is the same way Christians are denying their origin of paganism. Pagans are denying their origin God, which is the fallen and like
deny the origin
Lucifer.
that's attributed to us by Christians or by the Bible, and we dispute. The scientists.
But I go beyond the Bible scrolls, because I go into the scrolls before they were translated.
Well, nevertheless,
the Bible is just an English translation of ancient scrolls.
And this guy, the witch, the warlock, he's so biased that he's not even listening. That's another problem with people. they become so biased, or I'm on this side, you're on that side, that they can't even learn and listen. Like, I don't know how many times they said they're not Christians, but he keeps going back to Christian. He keeps going back to it. It's like, we're not Christians, bro. Christians don't follow the Bible. That's the whole point of the podcast. That's the whole point of the interview. They don't follow the Bible. They're pagans like your ass. So stop calling us Christians when Christianity, modern day Christianity, is satanic and pagan. Obviously, we're not Christians if we actually read the Bible and follow the real Christ in the Bible, you know? Like, I don't know, like, that's another problem with people, bro. Like, it goes in one ear and goes out the other ear. We can say it a million times.
I speak Hebrew. I went into the Hebrew scrolls. I got the Hebrew scrolls.
Right, but that's still the same people trying to push the same monotheistic agenda.
No, we're not Romans.
You notice I didn't push it.
The same.
This guy is still talking about some Roman Catholics right now. We're not Roman Catholics. Like, he's not even listening, bro. That's what happens when you're demon possessed pagan.
That's the only way. Everybody else is evil, you know. And anybody who does anything else, their way is mixed with evil, but our way is pure. Well, you know, why we
your way is evil. Shit.
A single book.
We
don't think one book can give us the truth.
Well,
you know,
I understand
the book that advertises itself as that. That's just, you know, you can advertise anything and people will believe you. But is it really? Well,
yeah,
we test
like
it against our experience of the world. We test it against what science is learning about the world.
Science is satanic.
You know, the truth is just a lot deeper than that. It's a compendium of many sources, the Bible is, but it's not the be-all and end-all.
It is, actually.
It's convenient and easy to think it is.
It's
to
not,
have that
actually.
One answer for everything.
Like
having one instruction manual, that's great if you got one computer.
So it's not actually convenient and easy, because the Bible says 90% will fall. If it was that convenient and easy to understand, it should be flip-flopped. 90% should be saved. So it's not that convenient and easy when you have a bunch of supposed Christians, Bible believers, that they're literally following satanic, pagan, and Babylonian and Roman customs. Like, they're not following the Bible. Like, your stereotypical Christianity, everything you're taught, holidays and all that stuff, the whole doctrine, it's all Babylonian, pagan, and Roman. It has literally nothing to do. Hell, even going into a Christian church is pagan, because there's idols and graven images all up in there. So it's like, hey, the same way Christians are talking about them, he's talking about Christianity in the same way. So,
but what if you got a bunch of different computers that you got to fix? You know, then there's going to be a bunch of different instruction manuals, and that's just the nature of the universe. It's diverse. You know, it's poly. It's not mono.
Nope.
So that's how we feel about it, and you know, people are always trying to accuse us
of being
evil,
not
or
true.
dabbling.
How you feel is different
something
from
dark,
actually knowing
you know,
what
but we know better than that, because we have the courage to actually explore the occult and find that it's not as scary as people think. It
is actually. You do it, you're going to hell, but yeah, how you feel and what you think is different from actually knowing something. That's why he can't tell us the origin of his gods, because it's Satan. He doesn't want to admit it's Satan, because Satan literally correlates with paganism and sorcery, like, too much. Like, that's why they can't admit that shit, right? Like, he would essentially say it's Satan, but when you say the word Satan, you'll be like, no, it's not. It's not Satan. When literally everything you're doing is satanic. It's like, it's just hilarious. I was thinking, like, burning witches on the stake. It's like, why wouldn't they burn in, like, regular dudes on a stake, or regular people on the stake? Why did it have to be witches and shit? Like, because they were doing wicked shit, bro. They were doing wickedly, bro. You get healing from the Most High in Christ, not from demons. Because if you're using witchcraft and magic to get healing, you can heal anything from a demon, bro. Not from the Most High in Christ. So, and science is basically sorcery as well. So they'll try to say that garbage, like, oh, it's just science. Nope, it's sorcery. So, people gotta wake up.
Actually, people shut it off because it's powerful. They wall it off because it's powerful. But it's powerful because it reaches into your very heart. It's founded on love. It's founded on harmony and the principles, you know, the same principles in music. That's what the occult is based on. I'll just put that out there. That it would take a whole nother show.
Brother, real quick, I like to say this because, listen, like I said earlier, I'm not here to accuse you of anything. Oh, I told you we disagree with this from the beginning. But what I'm saying, listen, but I humbly respect the fact that you are willing to admit what you're dealing with. But like I said, I wanted to put it out there that there's two sides to the tree of good and evil. So usually, you know what, and it's ironic myself, and I'm going to let Josh back in. I'm glad he called. Ironically, you know, since I have dealt with pagans, because I've dealt with Christians too, I've never met a pagan witch who said that they were one of the bad ones. They all said
I've never met a Christian
that they were good. You understand? So, but yet when I asked the question that can it be used for evil, everyone said the same thing. Yeah. But I haven't met a bad witch yet who have admitted it. So what I'm saying is, according to what we believe and we have the right to, if we don't do, of course it's powerful. Lucifer once was a high archangel next to the Most High himself.
Step away from that mythology. You know, step into something deeper is what I'm saying.
Brother,
you can find...
Brother, when you talk about Pan, don't you know Pan is written in Greek and Roman mythology?
It means, well, Pan, the word means all, yeah.
I'm saying, I ain't talking about the word. So if you want to talk about mythology, I can pull up to Roman mythology and Latin mythology right now, and every name you mention is in Greek mythology. So you can't say, let's step out of mythology when everything you said tonight was part of ancient Greek and Roman myths. No,
it's not just. It's reflected there, but it's also based on experience, on my experience.
But
and,
we have,
you know, that's the ultimate test.
Steve, we have experiences too, though.
Yeah, and I bet they're not that from mine.
And our experiences just don't come from us believing something that we read it.
Well, I would hope not.
You have to understand. By the same token, how you've seen your God, we've seen the power of our God. So there's a mutual respect here. We can have a conversation, but you just can't push off what we believe is myth because we have seen greater things, brother.
But you're speaking now from your experience, your personal experience. That's what I'm saying. But when you start talking about pagans dabbling with Lucifer, that's not in your experience. That's just that's what a book tells you.
That's not what a book tells you. That's what you're doing, bro. That's what history says. That's what anybody with common sense in their right mind would tell you. The fuck?
My experience confirms the book.
In many parts, but it won't confirm that part. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you it will not.
I guarantee you that book confirms our part. And let me say this, brother, and I just wanted to put this out there when it comes to mythology. Let's put that to the side, because everything I've spoken to you was based on knowledge and understanding all night, and history all night. So let's not just push it off. The Bible is not just a mythological book. Okay? And that brings the disagreement, because now you are doing what you claim Christians been doing. Let's just say what you believe, and we believe what we believe. Now, whether or not you would want to accept that, listen, if your God did all these good things for you and was Satan, it wouldn't be a big deal, because that's your God.
Well, Satan's not our God.
That's a show it. It is actually.
And maybe Muslim too. But
well, listen.
That is your guy. If you're a witch warlock doing magic, if you're doing magic, Satan's your guy.
What's the big deal?
Well, I wouldn't want to believe in a myth. I mean, something that's merely a myth. It wouldn't do me much good, would it? But
all right. Well, let's let it be. I'm going to yield because I came into Josh, but I couldn't hold myself. I'm going to restrain. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's cool, man. It's all good. Yeah, Steve. I just want to make clear, like, I haven't called in today to attack paganism in any way, shape, or form. Well, the reason why I called in is to give and to share my understanding with you and the listener, in terms of what I've discovered through research, and a lot of my research has led to this Madame Blavatsky.
Well, she's but not a Satan worshiper. No.
Okay, well, I'll tell you the information that I've got on her. I know that Hitler respected a lot of her writings, a huge amount. He even said in one of his speeches that we will wash off the Christian veneer. They use Christianity as a way to go to war. Now, I'm going to end very, very quickly because I just want to get this point out. Yeah. Now, one of Madame Blavatsky's predecessors, she's called Alice A. Bailey. Yeah.
Oh,
she's
Alice
actually
Bailey, yeah.
she plays. You've heard of her. She plays some part in United Nations today. Yeah. She's a woman quite.
She does.
Yeah. If you look it up, you'll find out she's quite a big head.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, let me putting back to the point. Yeah. One of her 10 strategies. Yeah. For implementing, and I'll call it Satanism because I am entitled to my belief, and that is what I believe ultimately it is. Yeah? But all these spirits that are in the earth, according to my understanding and belief, are from Satan. Yeah? All the spirits in the earth today being worshipped. Yeah? Now...
That's rather prejudiced.
Now,
well,
it's true.
Like I said, it's my opinion, but let me just focus on these strategies that she wanted to implement. Yeah, one of them is push God out of the schools. Yeah, it says people must be free to abort unwanted children.
It's
if
true.
A man can have sex
of course, this
and
pagan
then live
wouldn't believe
without
that
the
because he's a pagan.
consequences, then the same should be true for a woman. Yeah, and I'm not going to read through all 10, but
I don't know. You can tie anything together and make out a big conspiracy about
it's
it.
Not conspiracy.
It's really.
Guys, let me just make a quick announcement real quick. We're down to the final 10 minutes of the live show. We're going to go into overtime after the 10 minutes. So for the people tuning in via the Skype, now would be a good time to Skype in. Or you can call in. You're locked into the Search Engine International. I'm your host, Gaja. We have Elder Rakar. We have Steve Rasmussen, who's a pagan. And we have Brother Josh on the phone lines at this minute. What else? Did I miss anything? Well, yes, we have a few more callers here that's waiting to come in. We have 9 minutes left. Sorry, Brother Josh, I'll put it back to you.
Right, one of the last points I'm going to make real quick because my phone is about to die now. One of her points that she's been quoted to have said is diffuse religious radicalism, destroy Christianity. Christianity says that Jesus is the only way. Diffuse this by A, silencing Christianity, and B, by promoting other faiths, the creation of interfaith harmony. Yeah? And the last point, and like I said, I haven't gone through all 10 points, the last point says, and it does talk about the homosexual agenda also, the last point says, in this 10-point plan, which Madame Blavatsky has written, says, get the church to endorse every one of these 9 strategies, get the church to accept these principles and say that they are okay. Then legal ground is given for these values to get a foothold And I think this has a lot to do with the question that Elder Ricard asked, in opposed to, okay, when did pagans begin to lift up their head again? When did they stop getting thrown on the fire, so to speak? Because we know that history speaks of this, and now people have the right to practice whatever faith or religion that they want. It's that simple, and all I'm saying is the reason why I brought them points out, so I don't want to go to and fro with you and on and on and on, because
I doubt she wrote any of those things. That sounds like Protocols of the Elder of Zion stuff. You know, I mean, there's a whole right-wing industry devoted to manufacturing that kind of propaganda and tying it all together into one world conspiracy. You know,
nope.
When
it's
really
true.
There are much more obvious and dangerous conspiracies going on in the headlines every day. But anyway,
nope.
Go on.
That's your opinion.
Okay, well, no, that's it. And I just wanted to, and I'll say it again. If anybody wants to research this for themselves,
yeah, it's all true. Like,
it's your opinion that it's a conspiracy, then by all means you're entitled to that. You're entitled to that opinion. But what I find very interesting, and the reason why I brought that information forth, is because these 10 strategies of nearly almost every single one of them have been enforced.
Well, somebody
even
probably
to the point where pardon?
Somebody probably.
Well, people tend to write those things after the fact and then claim
after
that they
the
were
fact.
This is
like
this is like, but yeah, that's
150 years ago or some shit. This is like 150 years ago.
Yeah. But
this is like 200 years ago she wrote that.
I understand what angle you're coming from, but you need to understand who's really going to achieve anything by doing that. I mean, this has been written, yes. I claim that I know who's written it, and you can say, well, you didn't see her write it. It could have been anyone. It could have been written after these things.
I would go to Madame Blavatsky's own writings and be sure that that it's actually written and published by her, not this second level stuff where people claim to be quoting. You know, you always go to the primary source. Always, like, that's advice with rumors. Always check with the source. You know, call the person they're talking about and say, "Did you really say that?"
Call the person. She's been dead for like 100 years. She's been dead for 150 years. How would you call her?
But that's really where
this guy is insane.
You know, I think
that's what happens when you're a pagan warlock.
Have you actually researched her for yourself? Can you tell me anything about her?
I have my own problems with theosophy. I think it's very, very white, white bias, and bias against black people. It's got that whole Aryan tinge to it, the superior white race. But that's a whole.
Do you believe that there is a superior white race in the earth today who could possibly be in control of it? Well, again, I suggest that would be another thing that you'd have to look at in order to come to do you know what I mean? A sort of accurate decision of whether this is actually a conspiracy or not. In order to do that, I find the best way is trying to put pieces of the jigsaw together and see if you can see the overall picture.
You have to be careful where you get those pieces from, because there's a lot of people claiming that, claiming to put them together when they're actually just trying to fit them into a preconceived agenda. I mean, if you want to see what's going on in the world today, just follow the headlines with Wall Street and the centralization of finance.
Follow the headlines? The government is lying and programming motherfuckers. What is this dumbass? See, this is why you gotta look at who somebody is before you. If you don't know, if somebody's a warlock and a witch and a pagan, you have to watch. You can't really listen to them, bro. They're possessed by demons. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. This man is a typical programmed sheep. The only difference is he's willfully saying he's a warlock. He believes in all the stereotypical programming as any other regular person. The only difference is he's using magic and shit. He's denying that his guy is Satan. Like, yeah, follow the media. They're controlling and programming people through media, bro. Through news and shit. The fuck is he talking about?
Power.
This witch is talking about follow science and shit. Science. and all this shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
You know, and basically we really are being run by just a handful of, well, you know, like they say, 1%, actually 0.1% of the planet, you know, but they're in it purely for the greed, purely for that that materialism I was talking about earlier. I don't think they care whose temple they worship in. They just care about the money and the real estate that that temple's built on that they want to buy and sell.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it's not such an overwhelming thing to maybe comprehend that there is a minority of people who happen to be white in this earth today, who are in dominant control of it. Now, colour's irrelevant for me. I'm just saying it could be. It could be. Now, in order to find out, we need to apply a lot of research. Now, of course, you need to sift it through. Of course, there's a lot of lies out there. But what I'm saying is, ultimately, my point was today, paganism is the same thing, and it's practiced on different levels. And if you find the root of paganism, you're saying, on one hand, you're saying Christianity, yeah, may worship Satan. But all the ceremonial dates that Christians are dealing with comes from paganism, yet you're not accepting the fact that paganism ultimately could be paying homage to Satan as well. Unknowingly, ignorantly, by dealing with different spirits, you may be paying homage to a different god. And that's what I don't understand, but I'll let you answer that, but I'm coming off the line now. My phone is about to die, and I'm calling from the UK, so I'm going to have to go. But thank you for your time. I appreciate you listening. Okay, Steve, thank you.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Okay, we got a lot of people in queue, so we need to keep on going. But I know right now, Lex Will is busting right now. I know Lex Will is like, man, I wish I had a couple more minutes. I know he want to come in, but Lex, I'm feeling you out there. All right. Who we have coming on next? Gotcha.
Okay. We had brother Lex Will that wasn't finished, so I'm gonna bring him back. He gave way to Josh, being that Josh was calling from the UK.
How you guys doing again?
Brother Lex Will.
What I'm going to say, I want to say this too. Steve was nice enough to come on the show, and I like the way the show is going. Make sure the majority of people, probably everyone that come on is not going to agree with him. We all know that, but let's make sure we're respectful, because later on down the line, you know, we're going to need him as a you know, if he decides to stay with what he's dealing with. I would love to call him in when we're dealing with the Christian. You understand? Yep. And he can be our pagan expert. So just be respectful. All right. Who you have next?
Okay. For the listeners, let you know we're going over into the overtime show, and for the record as well, this has been the largest listenership of this show since I've been doing it that I've seen on it. Thank you everyone who's tuned in. Once again, Steve, thank you for coming on. It's been enlightening. All right, you locked into the Search Engine International. I'm your host, Brother Gaja. We're doing the final hour now in overtime. All right, Brother Lexon.
Yes, sir. Hey, when we left off, man, we just talked about that the Wiccans worship. They do not worship many gods, but rather one god and one goddess with many names, meaning Pan, Kronos, Mars, Zeus, Apollo, Thor, and Odin. Now, when we switch to the book of Revelation, many people do not believe Zeus is in the Bible, but he actually is. And this is why the Bible is a study guide, and it's very interesting. Revelation chapter 2, 11 through 13, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. And to the angel of the church of Pergamos write, these things saith he which hath the sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. Now, right there, if you said you had your computer, Stephen, if you type in Satan's seat, Pergamos, in the Google, and you hit images, it will show you the gigantic seat of Zeus in Pergamos, in the old world.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, the Christians would have tried to tar it as the seat of Satan, even if it was actually the seat of Zeus. I mean, that's what I'm saying, you know, is that
books, this thing.
Somebody calls you a communist doesn't mean you really are one.
Understand, like, okay, look, earlier you said...
Hey, Steve, just say hypothetically, Lex, I'm going to let you come in. Just say hypothetically that Zeus was the Christian Satan. I mean, would that change anything with you? If you knew that was Satan, would that change whether or not you would be a pagan?
Well, that's like saying, just hypothetically, if 1 were 2, you know, or if 7 were 12, you know, then, I mean, that's you know, it's like, well, in reality, I think that, like the early Christians were applying the term Satan to every other god but theirs. I mean,
because it's
every
true.
other deity was an aspect of
Steve,
Satan.
I'm trying to get a specific answer. We know what the Christians did. I'm asking you. If you knew that his name was Satan based on everything this religion has given you, would that make a difference to you whether it was Mars, Zeus, Pan, or Satan? Would that make a difference to you?
If you mean the Christian Satan,
they're all the same.
It's not Christian Satan.
No. Because it seems like your problem is...
It's all the same.
Is how the Christian...
There's no Christianness.
I'm not even going there.
It's not some... Oh, in Christianity, there's this mythology. Like, no, it's all real. It's all it's not some specific Christian thing. Well, in Christianity, Satan, no, Satan's real, dude. There's no just in Christianity. Like, you gotta wake up, bro.
No, because it seems like your problem...
If you mean the Christian Satan,
they're all the same, brother.
No. Because it seems like your problem is how the Christians is demeaning your gods or gods. I'm not even going there. I'm just asking you, if it was Satan, based on everything they've done for you, would it make a difference to you?
Well, that's like asking if, you know, if...
let your yay be yay or nay be nay. He can't even answer the question because he don't want to believe it's Satan. He's just denying that he's in denial. That's all that shit is. He's in denial.
If your God were Satan, would that make a difference to you? I mean...
absolutely it would make a difference to me.
But it's not, you know? I mean, it's...
I'm saying,
well,
but
it's not.
Absolutely. If I found out my God, like when I was a
Christianity,
Christian, and I found out, growing up in Christianity, that it was paganism, and I looked up paganism in the original religions, and I found out the origin of the Bible is absolutely against these different gods.
Exactly.
So I believe every God, the worshipman of... But it absolutely, if I found out my...
if your God were Satan, would that make a difference to you? I mean...
absolutely it would make a difference to me.
But it's not, you know? I mean, it's...
I'm saying, but it absolutely, if I found out my God, like when I was a Christian, and I found out, growing up in Christianity, that it was paganism, and I looked up paganism in the original religions, and I found out the origin of the Bible is absolutely against these different gods. So I believe every God, the worshipman of more than one God, is Satanism in itself.
Because well, then that's going to part ways. Because I don't believe that. I believe that's monopoly, monotheism.
Exactly. So that's all I wanted to say. All right, go ahead, Lex. I'm done. All right.
Here, you guys had mentioned aliens, and Stephen, you had said they don't come when you call like the gods.
Well, that's I mean, that's kind of something we joke about, but it's kind of true too. But we do believe. I mean,
on that statement
itself. But my wife has seen some extraterrestrial craft. So no doubt they're out there. I believe they probably are pagan too. I believe they probably worship many gods themselves. I mean, it's a huge universe.
Man, this guy is deceived out of his freaking mind. Those aliens are fallen angels. They're not pagan. They're the root. They started paganism. They ain't pagan. They started it. These fallen gods, these fallen angels, which people call aliens. This man's deceived out of his fucking mind. That's what happens when you're a witch, a pagan. All right, you don't follow the Bible. That's what happens.
It's a lot of different galaxies within galactic clusters, within, it's far vaster than we...
Above is heaven, bro. Don't believe that garbage of NASA. NASA are a bunch of Satanists. They're preparing to fight Christ on his return. They ain't exploring no fucking planets and shit. They're lying out of their minds. Hell, even their logo and name, like the ships, Apollo and all that, that's all fallen angel and satanic. The symbol of NASA is satanic symbolism. Like, people gotta wake up and do their research and stop being ignorant. Stop believing the surface level program. Just because this guy works for NASA, just because this guy's an astronaut or some shit, and he tells you something doesn't mean he's right. Doesn't mean it's not a lie. Just because somebody went to college, on TV, have a suit on with money, doesn't mean they're not lying to you. Or they're deceived themselves. Like, you gotta do your own research.
And for us to say that every conscious being out there worships the same deity in the same way as us is just enormous hubris.
Well, not the same way as you, but it is the same guy, which is Satan, Ceramyces, and Nimrod as Tammuz. Just different ways, different languages, different cultures, different religions. Same shit, though. Same Satan.
Very, kind of immature, I think, honestly. But that's, but it's only in the last, 40 years that people have even begun to accept the idea that there might actually be other life, extraterrestrial life out there. So I think it's going to take people a while to get used to the notion that there are many, many, many ways of worshiping the divine. I think, probably a culture that's that advanced has probably already realized that, and but I also want to say that there are also some religions, like there's one called the Raelians, that believes that all the gods were actually aliens that came to Earth in the past, kind of like in the Stargate, right? And fallen angels. And controlled and taught people and all this stuff, and we don't believe that.
We're kind of like Enoch when it says...
It's true. It's true. The gods came down, and they taught man sin and wickedness. So,
the Watchers went against the will and came to Earth?
Well, I know the Bible has some really puzzling quotes in it. I'm not ruling out. No Wiccan would rule out that there have been extraterrestrial visits. We wouldn't say that maybe some of them did become worshipped as gods, but what we're saying is that to say that all gods were actually extraterrestrials is just materialism. That's just reductionism. It's just saying, there's no such thing as the divine. It was all just...
Well, not really on the alien comment, on the God comment, because you said the aliens don't come when you call like the gods do.
Right, I did say that, and
have you read, say anything about King Solomon and how he called the demons before him?
Oh, yeah, there's actually one of the earliest...
Is there any correlation going on right now that you can think of, meaning you're not calling God? See, if they were gods, they wouldn't beckon at humans' call. See, is there anything that just from this...
Maybe they just don't want us to attack them with our jet planes like we tend.
What the fuck would that do to supposed gods? What the fuck with jets and planes? They're the ones that give us that technology through child sacrifice, right? Attacking them literally wouldn't do nothing. They would fucking laugh. They're fucking angels. They're fucking fallen angels. See, this man's a philosopher. It's all opinions to him because they don't want us to attack us with our jets that they kind of gave us. They kind of give us the jets. You know what I'm saying? Like all this technology we have right now came from fallen angels. Hell, the whole satanic structure of life is like demonic from fallen angels too. It's just taxes, debt, working, and all that. That's all satanic. That's all from Satan.
Wrong. What I'm saying is maybe with the idea of the Tales of Solomon, do you realize that not gods that you're calling demons, just like in the Tales of Solomon?
You're assuming that everything is to be put into one of two boxes. Here's the good box, here's the evil box.
And you're assuming that it's not what he's saying. It's the same thing all the way around. You're assuming that we're wrong, and you're assuming that we're wrong and you're right. Supposedly, just like you're assuming that we're right and you're wrong. Like, it's the same bullshit.
The world just doesn't work that way. There are many...
Yeah, to you, it doesn't work that way. Because you're a demon-possessed pagan, alright?
Some of them are...
Hey, Lex Will.
Yes, sir.
God.
Lex Will. I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad you brought that back up. Hold up, Steve, because the reason I asked is because something in Scripture that probably Steve never seen, and I wanted to bring it up so Steve can look at it. And I want to read it real quick in Acts the 14th chapter when Paul was teaching to the Greeks and Romans. He was teaching to Gentiles who were pagans.
Oh, right. Is that on the Hill of Mars, I think, or in Athens?
No, not that one in particular.
Okay.
But there was a Hill of Mars there. In Acts the 14th chapter, in the 9th verse, it says, "Then the same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him and perceiving that he had faith to be healed, said with a loud voice, Stand upright on thy feet. And he leaped and walked. And when the people saw what Paul had done, they lifted their voices, saying in a speech of
Yeah, they called the prophet. They called the 12 disciples, some of them, and Paul, all these planet names, Mercury, Jupiter, and all this. And these were pagans. And they're talking about the sons of God came back down to be with us again, just like from Genesis 6:4, when the angels came down and dealt with women and became fallen angels, and they bare children, which were giants. So they're pagans. The Greeks, Romans, the top 1% elites, the governments, the popes, they're pagans. They follow angels, fallen angels. They got excited, and that was sin. The angels sinned, bro. They went against the Most High when they came down here and dealt with women. They were excited that some angels came down to deal with them again. That's straight satanic paganism. They're pagans.
Laconia, the gods are come down to.
And those fallen angel names are these planets' names. Every planet name is a fallen angel name.
He was in the
given reverence and power to these fallen angels.
And they called Barnabas Jupiter, and Paul Mercurius, which is Mercury, because he was the chief speaker.
That passage? Huh. I'll have to look that up.
Listen. Then the priest of Jupiter, which was before the city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates, would have done sacrifice with the people. Now these are pagan origin. Which when the apostle Barnabas and Paul heard, they rent their clothes and ran among the people, crying out.
And this warlock don't even know what a pagan means. A pagan means you're worshiping demons and fallen angels over the Creator. Pagans don't even know.
The Bible says, woe to them who make good evil and evil good. They try to make everything good. They'll call each other wicans and pagans and shit. And they'll try and make that into they try to make it good connotation to it. Like, yeah, I'm a pagan. It's like, okay, that means you're worshiping fallen angels and demons and shit, bro. You're conjuring up demons to heal you, help you, and all this. Like, they'll try to dress it up like nature, earth, and all this other garbage. They'll try to say it's ancestors, ghosts, and all this. No, it's demons and fallen angels, alright? That means you're choosing to follow angels over the Creator in Christ, alright? Demons.
And saying, sirs, why do you these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that you should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all things that are therein. So what Paul was showing was they wanted to give him homage because they seen Paul do miracles before their eyes that only the gods could do. But what this is showing is that ancient pagans had the knowledge of fallen deities or deities coming down from the sky to show power before men. And today they would call that what? Aliens, or so-called UFOs. I'm just bringing this in. I know what you. But let me point out I'm gonna let you point it out, but let me finish my statement. What I'm saying is, one thing that some people out there, and I'm not saying Steve, but some are doing, and maybe Steve don't even know what's going on with this, is that they fragmented what paganism was originally so that you cannot know the origin. Like, all these things are intertwined. Everything we see within the earth, there's nothing that can't be identified. Everything has an origin, and it's all connected. Yep. There's no thing where something might be out there and maybe these some beings out there. No. Everything, the whole universe is attached, including what we see, which what they call unidentified. But who can identify it? The scriptures, the ancient scriptures can identify them. They're fallen angels. And they're being worshipped. Now, I'm saying this because you mentioned earlier, Steve, that you didn't know the origin of them. I'm just putting it out there so that you can do the research.
I said that I wouldn't presume to know. I wouldn't presume that I knew. And I think anyone who does is really overreaching. But let me point out about the gods coming into men. That's actually something that is commonly done in pagan religions, is to call down the gods into oneself.
They get demon possessed.
We call it drawing down the moon or drawing down the sun.
That's what the popes do. The black smoke, white smoke ritual. They call a god down, fallen angel, alien, or whoever, to get demon possessed.
In Vodun, they call it being ridden by the Loas, and and it's all around the world in pagan religions. There are different ways of being inhabited by the gods, so that you can do those kinds of healing acts and healing work. So probably what they were thinking was, these people have, they may be priests of Jupiter or Mercurius who have, called that god into them. But it's not an alien.
Well, obviously, Steve, he was a high priest. Obviously, he's in the same position you're in. So
and he may have thought, just like I found Jupiter into me.
What I'm saying.
Notice, called Jupiter into himself.
Okay, but listen to what I'm saying. Notice. Don't just overlook this. Notice what Paul said to him.
Yeah, he said, no, I'm not. I'm worshiper of this God. Yeah.
No. Listen. He acknowledged the gods that they were dealing with as far as the existence of them. He didn't say they didn't exist. What he told them, that step away from them to serve the living God. There is a God who created these gods you're worshiping. And that's what I'm saying. Just don't be too close-minded. I'm not coming at you as a Christian.
I'm not ruling that out either, but I'm saying that...
Oh, okay, all right. That's all I'm saying. Let's just keep the door open. All right, I'm going to yield now. I'm yielding.
I will point out that we actually do, in the Wiccan tradition, have a name for the God who's the origin of all things, which I don't even know. We don't even call it a God. It's beyond that. It's kind of the principle, the all-pervading, the all-knowing, ever-present. And we call it the Drighton, which is an old Anglo-Saxon word that some people think originally meant Lord. But
and it sounds like dragon.
Well, yeah, it's spelled Dryghton, and so it's one of those old, probably they pronounce it Drixpon, but
the revelation, he's cast out of heaven, brother.
No, not that at all. That's an English word, dragon. That's totally different. It just sounds, the word just sounds the same, but it's not. It's from a totally different origin than dragon. But yeah, anyway, we do have the concept of, the all-pervading, the all-knowing, the all-powerful. But to us, that principle, and I see this around me, that principle, that being, that one, is so vast and so, in so many ways, so remote. That
let me jump in real quick, brother Lexwell.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I want to bring in a few more callers real quick because we're running out of time on the overtime. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, brother Lexwell. And let me just bring in the next caller real quick. Okay. All right. We have brother brother Kamar with a comment. Let's get that real quick. We have about less than 40 minutes to go.
Shalom, Brother Gaja, Brother Steve, and Elder Rakar. I just wanted to bring a little out. First, I wanted to thank you guys for bringing this show to the forefront. And secondly, I wanted to thank Stephen for his candor when dealing with this situation. But what I wanted to go into, I wanted to ask a question as well. Actually, a couple of questions, and I'll make them short and read a little something as well. But the question I wanted to ask was, are the wearing and use, or even unwittingly use of the symbols in paganism actually opening up the bearers of these symbols to control or manipulation of these many beings or spirits?
No, we think of the pentagram as a protective symbol. It's like a hand, a five-fingered hand that averts evil. And in fact, they used to carve it on churches back in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, of course, they were pagans. They were satanic.
So it's a protective thing.
It's not protective. It's a satanic ritual.
It helps.
It's the freaking call demons too. Once you have that satanic pentagram, you're calling in the demons. All right. That's what you're doing. So you gotta be careful with these pagans too. And these pagans, they're using sorcery to like protect themselves from demons because they're fighting fire with fire. So they're gonna tell you all this wicked shit. Then you start doing it, and you're gonna get destroyed. You're gonna get decimated by some demons because you're ignorantly following some witch. And these motherfuckers are doing all kinds of spells and sorcery and all this. You're not. You're just some ignorant dude. You're gonna get totally destroyed. So when people start talking about witchcraft and shit, bro, do not follow that shit at all.
Protect us from negative.
When you brought up that deity that you were talking about, you said you made reference to a principle. Now, we study the records of our forefathers, and we were just talking about Paul. And Paul wrote in Ephesians 6 and 12, "For we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world."
I'm sorry, not that kind of principle. A PRNCIPLE, and that's just one word for it. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, what are you going to call it? It's the all, the everything.
Okay, but would you call those spirits principalities or location? Where are they located? The powers, or what would you call these spirits?
That goes back to in ancient the Neoplatonic philosophers in ancient Roman times, right before Christianity. Several of them.
Those philosophers are Satanists.
the same way in the heavens, you know. So there are principalities and there are powers, and they all have this.
Fallen angels.
Because usually they come back to 7 of them, and each of those 7 correlate. Just to cut through everything, what it all kind of comes back to is the astrological planets, because usually they come back to 7 of them, and each of those 7 correlates to one of the astrological principles, like Mars is the principle of aggression, you know, Saturn's control, that sort of thing. Now I'm using principle LE, okay?
Yeah, I understand. But you didn't let me finish the verse. It says, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Mars, i.e. Jupiter, i.e. all of those other celestial bodies, as you call them, are high places. I wanted to go into something as well. You're familiar with the prophet Enoch?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, and this alludes to what the elder was talking about earlier, just to piggyback off of him and Brother Lex will. In the book of Enoch, chapter 8, verse 1 through 4, and I'll read it really quickly, it says, and Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates.
And do you know what's funny about this dude? This dude would sit back and be like, oh, it's only one book. It's like, dude, it's 80 books. In the King James Version Bible, bro. It's not all one book. This is how delusional these pagans, these witches and warlocks.
And made known to them of metals of the earth, and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. Verse 2. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Verse 3, some Jaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros, the resolving of enchantments. Barachiel taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arachiel, the signs of the earth. Shamshamel, the signs of the suns. And Sariel, the course of the moon. As men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. The reason I brought that out is because those all seem to be the model of paganism as far as root cuttings and signs and astrological signs and all of those things. Could you expound on that a little bit?
There are a lot of, you look in a lot of different indigenous religions, and they'll say, you know, this is the spirit that taught that, and this is the spirit that taught that, and they're names for the gods that rule those things. In paganism,
I know they differ, but
what they're really, and you know, so what they'll do in these Old Testament passages, they'll take that and stick it in and call it evil, you know, but in reality, it's what it is. It's like a system for accessing those things. We call it the art of correspondences. And just like the brother said earlier, everything is interconnected. That's what our whole idea is too, is that everything is interconnected, and it's interconnected in certain ways. And you know, and you use, by understanding those ways, you can access them and change them for the better, you know. So it's like with the astrological system, what you would have found in a lot of medieval magic books is they would take those names that are in the Book of Enoch and connect them to the planets that they figured connected to, and you know, and then say, okay, pray to this deity and do this ritual with these colors and these objects, you know, and that will give you mastery over this particular thing that it rules, you know. So like if it's over swords and armor, then that would be Mars, you know, or whatever the name they're using for Mars is, you know, whatever deity they're connecting it to. And like I say, usually 9 times out of 10, it'll come back to something like the astrological planets. There's an order, there's a system behind it, and it's not evil. It's science.
It is evil.
Really
it's
is.
Evil.
You know,
it's evil. It's
science.
satanic.
And still to this day is valid. It's just.
It's evil and satanic. All right, science. You know what's crazy? It reminds me of Dracula. In Castlevania with his wife. It's not sorcery. It's not witchcraft. It's science. Well, that's what science is, sweetie. In case you didn't know. In case you didn't know. Especially modern day science. Especially. So people gotta wake up. Alright? If it has nothing to do with the Bible, the Most High, and Christ, it's satanic. It's pagan. Alright? Like 99.999% of things. So people just gotta wake up.
Taking materialist scientists a while to catch up with the ancient wisdom.
Well, and in all respect to you, we tend not to delve into science.
Exactly.
Science to us is false, and we look at it from a standpoint. It's almost like how you view your gods. We hold our God or our power in the utmost and highest respect, to the point of where it's almost and it's no disrespect to you. It's almost a sacrilege to honor anything other than the Most Higher. And for us to go into these things, and even the mention of those names, you know, it kind of sends a chill up my spine. So I have to do some prayer just because I mentioned the names in that passage. But the thing we tend to go into when you talked about the fallen angels coming down and sleeping with men, those were the description.
Let me jump in real quick here. All right, the time here is coming down. Brother Kamar, yeah. I just want to get in a few more questions real quick.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you guys go ahead and have it, man. Shalom and praise Ahia.
Thank you, brother man. Thank you for tuning in.
All right,
man. Shalom. Let's take the next question.
Yeah, gotcha. It's a lot of points to build a bird out. I wish, but we got to keep it moving. He brought out some real good points, and one thing that I wrote down in the midst of his asking questions, maybe you can give me some understanding on this, Steve. You were talking about when it comes to war, the god of Mars being, them doing certain rituals to the god. You heard of this thing under the Roman Empire, and they do this today under the powers in the Western world, the Ides of March.
Oh yeah, Caesar, beware the Ides of March.
You heard of this thing under the Roman Empire, and they do this today under the powers in the Western world, the Ides of March.
Oh yeah, Caesar, beware the Ides of March. Yeah.
And usually they do their wars, even in the Western world today, America, do their wars around March.
Well, I think that has to do with the weather, but I think originally March was named after Mars.
Well, it goes back to ancient Roman, and I got it in front of me, the Ides of March. How they look to do their war at a certain time with their sacrifices to Mars.
And they did, yeah. They would time it carefully. They would get omens and auguries, and make sure that they were going to win before they went in.
Yep.
Exactly.
And a lot of times they would disregard those omens and auguries and go in and fight and then lose. So they learned to.
But let's talk about that ritual, though.
Yep. It's just like that's where a lot of these holidays from, like Thanksgiving. They celebrate that the gods helped them defeat their enemies or whatever. It was like Thanksgiving and shit.
Before they go to
colonization.
War. Do you think that was good or evil?
Well, I think war is by and large evil because it's using
the question.
Other people as an end. I mean, as a means to your end.
Okay. All right, so we coming around. So answer that for me before we bring in the next question. When they go through their rituals for the Ides of March, you think they're asking for something good or that?
Yeah, they're trying to.
help us utterly decimate, destroy, rape, pillage, kill, murder our enemies to these satanic fallen angels. So obviously it's not good. And pagans always try to deny this shit.
Black or white magic.
Well, okay.
They're trying to deny
I would say
it.
that if they were going to defend themselves from an invader, and that's why they were doing
Romans don't do that.
So it was going to come in and...
Romans colonize. They don't defend nothing. They're the ones destroying and killing and murdering people. Jewish people, Romans, governments.
Slaughter them, then yeah, that was good. But if they were going to go in and conquer somebody...
Well, come on now. We know that we know that the Romans were imperialists, and they would consume the whole. So they were known for going into other countries and destroying and making them part of the board. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, I know. And so 9 times out of 10, I would classify it as a misuse of power. Yeah, I mean.
So you would say that was evil, right?
I tend to think imperialist aggression is evil. Yeah, I do agree with that.
All right. So we got to pull it out of you, but okay, who we got next? Who we got next, Gotcha?
Let me see. We have the next caller is Brother Rion. Let me get Brother Rion in real quick.
Hi, how you doing, Shalom?
Shalom, brother. Welcome to the Searching Your Life.
Thank you. I just want to say all praises to the Most High, first and foremost. And also, I think y'all kind of went over this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to get in more detail because for the last 2 days, I've been dealing with some other Israelites who are calling on the YHWH, the different names, the Tetragrammaton, and I was trying to explain to them how the YHWH is, different forms of, pagan gods, pretty much. And I wanted to ask, what's his name, John or Steve? What's his name? I'm sorry.
Steve.
Do pagans pay any respect or regard to the golden calf or anything like that, the horned god? And is there any connection to the six-pointed star and to the name like Yahweh, Jehovah? Is that all related? Do they recognize that as related?
Well, no, I wouldn't say they see them as related, but I would say that they see the golden calf as a remnant in the Bible of a much older, and kind of trying to tarnish a much older and more widespread tradition of the bull god, who's the horned god, and
that's Satan.
Represents the spirit of nature.
That's Satan.
Especially of wild nature, untamed by humans.
Any type of bull, horned, golden bull, golden calf, that's Satan. So don't believe that garbage.
Unconscious calf actually had to do with a conflict.
So you're saying there's no relation between the calf and the six-pointed star?
No, not that I'm aware of. The six-pointed star, like I say, that's a symbol of the intertwining of the above with the below. How everything as above, so below. They call it the principle that it ties in with that art of correspondence, as I mentioned earlier. That, for instance, you can use a red object, a sharp red object, to magically call the power of the god Mars. I don't know why I keep coming back to Mars, but but anyway, that's a pretty clear example of as above, so below.
Okay.
So anyway, that's all I'm saying is that the six-pointed star, the two interlaced triangles, that's a symbol of that principle, which is also, in mathematics, they talk about it as fractal geometry. How it you can even see that they use that six-pointed star as a symbol for when they first discovered fractal geometry. It was through studying the six-pointed star, mathematicians like 15 or 20 years ago, and you can see that commonly. People even print it on T-shirts, that infinitely replicated six-pointed star. So there's an underlying principle there that's neither good nor evil, but just kind of there, and kind of universal. And people adopt it and use it as a logo. Well, can't stop them from doing that.
Hey, listen, brother Rian, is that all you have to say?
Well, I just had two more questions to ask just to get a better understanding of, his view on.
Okay, going forward, we got to limit these to 2 minutes per call. I apologize, but we're in the tail end. All right, so we're going to let you go one more, all right? But I would like to say this, and I'm going to let you in. Steve, are you familiar with Moloch?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's that?
Well, some say it was I don't know. I haven't really studied that, but I know that there have been some scholars that have tied it to I think a Canaanite deity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but I think that fires to Moloch. Now that's a very common pagan rite of purification. In Ireland, they used to drive their cattle between two bonfires to purify them of spiritual as well as physical disease, as a magical act. And, and they would do
So Moloch, let me ask a question, because I'm trying to get through these calls. I'm trying to get specific.
Yeah.
Moloch is a term within paganism when it comes to gods. Is that correct?
Not nowadays, no. Nobody that I know.
I'm talking about ancient. I'm talking about what you know of ancient times.
Apparently, yeah. There are very few references. My understanding is there are very few references outside of the Bible to Moloch, so that's one that's kind of been lost. So nobody, the scholars, as far as I know, don't really know a lot about that particular deity.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking that is I'm trying to tie in some of these questions. What he's relating to is where they talk about the star of your god, worshiping the Moloch, when they used to have children go under the fire under ancient paganism. You do know that child sacrifice was part of paganism in ancient times. You do know that.
Yeah, and that is one thing that we definitely object to.
Okay, well let me ask you a question: is that good or evil?
Well,
that's evil.
I don't know. I mean, I think
I don't know, huh?
So you definitely can't listen to this pagan. Is child sacrifice good or evil? Good or evil? Well, I don't know. It's like, what? You can't be listening to these warlocks and magic users and pagans and natural. They be talking about some like love and nature. They're pagans. They're Satans.
Talking about child sacrifice. You know that's evil, correct?
Didn't want to, I think a lot of people do that in many ways that they just don't realize.
I'm talking about killing your child for God.
That's evil. I think I would consider that a pretty bad thing to do.
All right. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why people out there equate Satan to paganism, because all these things are in ancient paganism. You understand? And the brother,
yeah.
So listen to what I'm saying. You can't be surprised if someone sees child sacrifice as part of ancient paganism to say, okay, that must be Satan. That can't be good.
Sure, they're lumping it all together. Yeah. Yeah, and people just they don't realize that it was
just
even
to get an
in
understanding.
ancient times it was extremely diverse.
But real quick. The star of their god, Moloch, was the god of ancient child sacrifice, and the six-pointed star.
I'm not really sure that passage refers to child sacrifice. It may refer to child.
I can give you the precepts where it tell you with Moloch passing your child under the fire. Because
but that could be, like I'm saying, that could be like the ancient Celtic.
That's only one precept. There's also verses on slaying, they slew their children in sacrifices. That's another precept. So it's a bunch of precepts like, oh, they put their kid through the fire, they slew their sons in sacrifices. I forgot the other one. There was another one, but yeah.
Saying that the Irish did until very recently, where they would drive their cattle between two sacred fires in order to...
No. This was actually child sacrifice.
Cattle.
This was child sacrifice. Matter of fact, just for the sake of understanding, you researched that, but I've already done that. Let me say this real quick. The six-pointed star means the heavenly with the earthy. That was the original premise of the star.
Yeah, that's right.
Going into the ancient fallen angels that dealt with women and brought forth Nephilim of Genesis, the 6th chapter, in which all these things was taught under Enoch, which was brought out earlier. Now, to show you that the Bible have historical content, it's not a fairy tale book if you're reading it in proper content, not like Christians. So what I'm trying to do is merge this understanding so that we can look at the Bible from a different angle altogether. We're not Christians.
Exactly.
What we are, you would call us pre-Constantine Christians, before the pagan came in. All right. So who we got next? Because I wanted to put that out there. Yahweh is synonymous with Moloch.
All right. Can you hear me?
And there were sacrifices equated with it.
Shalom. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. I just have a problem here with my computer. Listen, you know what, Steve, we might have to bring you back on the show again just for a question answer segment. You know, there's so many people here.
The lines are packed, Steve. I mean, let me tell you, this show is international, buddy. You got people from England calling in all over the place.
That's great. I love answering questions, even if I'm not always right. I try to be.
I'm gonna bring in is it Ed? I think Ed is also a pagan. He's been listening, and then I'm gonna hear what Ed has to say. We'll see if we can keep it down to about 2 minutes, and I'm gonna try and bring in brother Xavier to come in as well.
Hey, guys, if you don't mind, let's give the brother that's coming in 5 minutes, because we gave everyone else a lot of time, and then we'll keep it 2 minutes from there, because I know he's probably busting out with things to say. So let's give him 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem. We have Ed. Ed, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am here, sir.
Welcome to the search engine.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to thank you all for the show tonight and for being so respectful of each other. You had brought up earlier, Steve, or someone brought up the use of sex in ritual, where in the chalice, it's
in y'all union sometime.
Yeah, that was very much for bringing up those. Yeah.
It's also given thanks to the Lord late, and that is a time of the last harvest. It's a holy day for us. It's also given thanks to the Lord and Lady for all they've given us throughout the year,
which a demon
through the winter.
A demon.
And that's about all I have to say. And I want to thank you guys for the show and for discussing things in such an open and forthright manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johan. Yeah, that was very much for bringing up those. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Steve. I'm sorry he got off so quick. I was trying to take my mute off because I wanted to speak to Ed. Let me ask you, Steve. Thank you. Oh, he's there. Okay, good. Let me ask you: do you all have acting Christians who are part of a Christian church practicing within y'all union sometimes? Like
very occasionally, someone will come along who's curious and open-minded enough to see what we're all about.
But you don't have a Christian that goes to church and then come and deal with what y'all dealing with.
We usually don't. It would kind of be. I think, in my own, this is just my opinion, that all spiritual paths lead to the same center at some point. But it would kind of be.
Believe me, y'all definitely are meeting at the same point, especially on Christmas.
Right. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not likely that a Christian would be a practicing Christian and also be a practicing pagan at the same time.
But they are practicing pagan. They just don't know it.
Yep. Okay. Well, okay. I can see where you're coming from because I've listened to the entire discussion on that, and it's true that a lot of pre-Christian customs were indeed pagan with many gods, goddesses, etc.
Deity and do this ritual with these colors.
Okay, no problem. We have Ed. Ed, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am here, sir.
Welcome to the search engine.
Thank you very much. I just want.
The endgame mastery camos are the easiest to get in Black Ops.
Sir.
Welcome to the search engine.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to thank you all for the show tonight and for discussing things in such an open, and also be a practicing pagan at the same time.
But they are practicing pagan. They just don't know it.
Okay, well, okay. I can see where you're coming from because I've listened to the entire discussion on that, and it's true that a lot of pre-Christian customs were indeed pagan with many gods, goddesses, etc.
Let me come in real quick. We're down to 10 minutes for the show. I just wanted to ask you, Ed, how did you hear about the show?
Actually, one of my friends on Facebook put it on that Steve was going to be on. And I had heard of Coven Open Wild before, even though I've never met Steve personally. I know somebody who has. And so I tuned into the show and just to listen to see what was going to be said. And it's been very informative and very nicely done.
All right, man. Cool. Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in. And,
thank you, sir.
We're going to try and get Steve back in another time so we can go into, like I said, a question-answer segment, you know. Okay.
Hey, before you, I have to make a few announcements real quick. First off, I would like to say that our Hebrew and Bible Academy begins this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
As far as I grew up a Christian. This is the part that's really, and it came to my mind. It's like, oh my goodness, here. I grew up a Christian. I grew up, I was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I'm hearing people from the Bible Belt. I'm hearing people, brothers here that are coming on with a southern accent. And I'm perplexed because mainstream society taught us, through media and whatever the case is, that all the Europeans that came over was good old European Christians. You understand? And
yeah,
as far as I can see, what I'm hearing here, paganism has always been here.
So, in fact, we have a big page on our website about Thomas Morton, the pagan pilgrim, who...
the pagan pilgrim, man, look at that.
Yeah.
Why do you think that they're hiding the paganism roots that came over from Europe?
Well, because it's a threat to their control and power, just like he was. And they ended up, the Puritan pilgrims ended up persecuting him and cutting down the maypole he'd erected in what's now called Wollaston, Massachusetts, right up from I think the Massachusetts Bay Colony, if I've got that right. And and the whole story's, like I say, the whole story's on our website, oldenwild.org.
All right.
It's pretty fascinating, and it's that Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote a story about, but nobody else.
Let me come in real quick, please.
Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. We're down to the final 6 minutes of the show. Last week we got cut off due to the time. I want to say thank you to everyone who was phoned in, and I'm asking Steve. I'm gonna see if we can. Steve. I'm gonna see if we can arrange another show where you can come in. I definitely would like these brothers and sisters to get their questions answered and to make the point. I don't know. Would you be able to come on maybe say next week or something again after that? We'll speak to you.
Some publicity about this show, so that.
I mean, what a great dialogue tonight. I thank you.
Well, Oregon, I would like to hear answers.
Read the Bible.